This is the new DJI Mini 3. In this video, we are going to compare both drones, so you know which one is right for you. We are gonna go through all the features of these drones, and I will show you some of the footage side by side that I shot using these drones. So let's get into it right away. Number 1 is portability. These both drones are super tiny and ultralight, which weighs only 249 grams. You can bring them with you anywhere you want. In a lot of countries, you can fly without registration. In fact, they are super portable even with Fly More kits. They are super compact and you can pack them in your own camera bag or use the carrying pouch that is supplied by DJI with a drone to throw them on your shoulder. Now let's talk about the camera sensor. In both Mini 3 and Mini 3 Pro, you will be getting a 12 megapixel, 1 1/3 inch sensor and aperture of f1.7. However, your Mini 3 have limited functionality as compared to Mini 3 Pro. This drone is basically an upgraded version of Mini 2, and so it's got some new features that I think a lot of you are going to be interested in. But it doesn't have all the features that you can find in Mini 3 Pro. So let's talk about what you can do with Mini 3. Talking about resolution and frame rates that you will get out of this drone, you can shoot up to 4K 30 frames per second. However, you can shoot in 60 frames per second, but with that, you will be getting 2.7K resolution. Now, one thing you will be missing a lot in this drone, but not in Mini 3 Pro, is slow motion. You don't have access to 120 frames per second. So if you want to shoot slow motion, the most you can get is 60 frames on Mini 3 at 2.7K. Talking about photography, you can shoot 12 megapixel in either RAW or JPEG on Mini 3. The Mini 3 Pro can produce 12 or 48 megapixels images in RAW or JPEG, which means you will get more detail in images. Next important feature we need to talk about is tracking, because tracking is something that all of you want in a drone like this. So you can put this tiny drone up in the air and have it follow you while doing something you want to. Well, Mini 3 has no tracking built into it. But on Mini 3 Pro, you have this amazing feature which makes the Mini 3 Pro really a pro drone. Furthermore, Mini 3 has no obstacle avoidance sensors, which means you have to operate this drone manually, except for when you are flying in quick shot mode, and with the DJI Mini 3 Pro, you can avoid objects in the front and back side at least. However, in the upgraded version, we might be getting more sensors for obstacle avoidance. Now talking about the shooting modes. You have access to 5 different quick shots. You can use the drone, the circle, the helix, rocket, or the boomerang. To use this, select the quick shot mode and press the little plus button that pops up. Then select the subject, and then it's going to do an automation move. It basically locks onto a center subject then moves out, away, or around that subject. So this is the kind of tracking you will get on Mini 3. However, if you want active tracking while walking, biking, or driving, you need Mini 3 Pro. Now let's talk about dual native ISO. It was a new thing with DJI Mini 3 Pro, but DJI has included this in Mini 3 as well. So what dual native ISO means is that there are 2 different exposure values, ISO 800 and ISO 100. So if you are using it in a lower light situation or at night, you are going to have a little bit more dynamic range with less noise. In addition to that, when you are shooting in 30 frames per second or lower, it uses a dual native ISO technology to get you a better HDR looking footage. However, you will be able to use dual native ISO all with the photos but in videos only when you are shooting 30 FPS or lower. And if you will be shooting at higher frame rates, you are not going to have this HDR effect. Now let's talk about the color profiles. In Mini 3, you essentially just get a standard color profile. So the standard profile has built-in contrast and saturation, which means the footage you will be getting with Mini 3 is pretty much the final footage. You don't have room to do color grading. There is no S-Log or D-Log kind of thing in Mini 3. But in Mini 3 Pro, you have two color profiles, normal and D-Cine-like, which means you will be able to do color grading on the footage of Mini 3 Pro. However, the standard profile on Mini 3 is better than its predecessor, Mini 2. Now talking about vertical shooting. Both of these drones have a vertical shooting mode, so in this mode, the camera actually rotates 90 degrees and gives you a vertical image, which is a great thing if you want to shoot Instagram Reels and TikTok videos. Now one exciting news is, you will be able to use the DJI RC controller with the Mini 3 the same as Mini 3 Pro. Now this is amazing, because the RC controller makes it a lot easier to control and fly this drone with a built-in screen, and you don't need to occupy your mobile phones to fly the drone. So basically an all-in-one setup. If you get yourself a Fly More kit with RC controller, you get almost 2 hours of flight time with this drone. Talking about the battery life. In Mini 3, you will be getting 38 minutes of flight time with one battery, and on Mini 3 Pro, you will have only 34 minutes. But this time depends on your weather conditions and how you are flying. For example, if you are flying with Cine mode or Sport mode, you are going to drain the battery a little faster. But there is another battery you can buy from DJI that can give you 51 minutes of flight on Mini 3 and around 46 minutes with Mini 3 Pro. But there is one disadvantage with that battery is that your drone will get a lot heavier and you will no longer be in the under 259 grams category. But in my opinion, a standard battery gives you enough time to play and shoot with a drone. But in my opinion, Fly More kit is much better instead of buying a heavier battery. So who is this drone for? Well, if you never had a drone and you want to get yourself a first drone to learn the basics, then this is a good option. But if you are someone who has a Mini 2 and you want an upgrade with budget and some amazing features of professional and superior drones like Cinelog and active tracking, then Mini 3 Pro is definitely a better option. That was all about DJI Mini 3 and Mini 3 Pro. If you liked the video and want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and I will see you in the next one.